Hello and welcome to the Combustion Therapy channel. Today we'll be discussing adjusting the rear park brakes on your 2006 through 2011 8th generation Honda Civic. Behind me here, I have all the tools we'll need. For this one, you'll definitely need a jack. The one that comes with your Civic will do. It's nice to have a larger jack, so I've got mine set up on the vehicle already. We'll need a 1/4-inch ratchet with at least one extension. I like to use two since it makes the job much easier. And we'll need a 10mm socket. With the vehicle suspended an inch or two off the ground, this then becomes a process of accessing the adjustment nut. Inside the vehicle, with our ratchet at hand, we can begin removing the shift knob from the center console. We do this by pulling at the clip, securing the boot in a downward motion, and unscrewing the shift knob. With the shift knob removed, we can then remove the boot. Following the removal of the boot, setting your handbrake a few clicks rearward, we can then pry at the front center console assembly, removing it as well. Your level of adjustment on this nut will depend entirely on the condition of the rear brakes of your vehicle. How you'll determine the level of adjustment needed on your specific vehicle is by making use of the fact that your vehicle is now lifted in the air. Since you're probably here because your handbrake isn't grabbing like it used to, and you haven't yet serviced the rear brakes on your vehicle, I'm going to suggest taking your ratchet, installing it on the adjustment nut, which can be a little tricky at times. The Honda service manual says to pull the handbrake lever back 1 click. I had to do it 4 clicks before I could get my ratchet on the adjustment nut, since it is quite close between both these metal surfaces. But once you've got it on there, I'm going to recommend driving it down maybe 4 or 5 turns. In my instance, I had to unscrew my adjustment nuts since this was a used vehicle and I had just installed new park brake cables and did a rear brake job. In your case, this will likely differ, so I'm going to show you momentarily how to tell where you need to set your adjustment nut. Stepping outside the vehicle, you can tell that right now, where I've got my adjustment nut set at 4 clicks on the handbrake cable, there's no way I could possibly rotate this rear tire. This is the goal, and you want to make sure that this is the case on both rear tires. Once you have your handbrake cable set to an adjustment point where you can safely release the tension on the handbrake cable and then have the rear wheel turn, this is when you know you've completed the job successfully on both sides. Putting this stuff back together is also a breeze. Start by taking the front center console assembly, sliding the front underneath your dash, and then clipping it downward on the rear. Then taking the boot, sliding it over the shift knob, snapping it down, rethreading your knob, and then refastening your clip. With everything zipped up and back together, it's time for the most important part of the job, taking the car for a test drive, ensuring the handbrake is not dragging the rear brake assembly when the park brake is disengaged. This is an important part of the procedure since it would be catastrophic to wear out our new brake pads extremely quickly. Lastly, I'd like to mention that an improper adjustment could cause excessive heat to be generated in the wheel hub, destroying things like wheel bearings. If you liked any of today's content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel with lots more coming your way.